Okay, hi. My name is Roger Shimomura, and I'd like to welcome you to my exhibition called Minidoka on My Mind. For those of you that don't know, Minidoka is the name of the internment camp that my family, along with myself as a young child, along with just about all the Japanese Americans that were living in America at the time, were put behind barbed wire for a period of up to 3 years during World War II, despite the fact that out of the 120,000 people that were incarcerated, over 2/3 were American citizens by birthright. That's to say that they were born in this country and therefore were citizens of this country. The paintings in this exhibition are not necessarily made up specifically of what I recalled, because I was a child of 3, 4, and 5 years old. But the paintings are made up of a lot of ideas that I developed about working on this theme for so many years. This is actually the 4th series of work that I've done that has to do with the internment. My first venture was back in 1976. My second one was in 1980, my third one was in 1998, and this one I started, I believe, about in 2006. And because the memories that I have are so vague as a young child, the paintings are hypothetical in the sense that they were developed based upon things that I've read about the experience, the long lines that people had to stand in to go to the bathroom, to eat in the mess halls. One person, in fact, described the entire internment experience as being one of standing in line. What I remember as a child was the bad weather. It seemed like we were always experiencing extremely hot, sunny, dusty weather, or else very wet, muddy weather, or periods of snow and extreme cold. And so these paintings cover a lot of those kinds of experiences, as well as pick out various members of our family to serve as subjects in some of these paintings. In other words, I did a painting of my sister and my cousin as young children, even though they weren't born at the time of the camps. I did pictures of uncles and aunts that I don't even actually remember being in camp, but I know that they actually were. So the paintings come from a theoretical base where there were probably situations that actually looked like this, but specifically I don't remember them when I did the paintings. Some of the paintings deal with separate issues that I have never heard really addressed in the internment discussions, such as a painting of a Chinese man wearing a "I am Chinese" button. And during the war prior to the internment, there was a lot of controversy circulating amongst the Asian American community as to possible mistakes that might be made by incarcerating Chinese Americans as well as Japanese Americans. So these buttons were actually worn by members of the Chinese community. one of the things that I've attempted to do, I think, to make the paintings more interesting to look at is to play up the contrasts that exists, again, on a hypothetical level in the internment camps. Because I had heard so much about the social events that went on in the camps and trying to maintain how the Japanese Americans tried to maintain a sense of regularity in the camps to their social lives had they been outside of camp. I tried to juxtapose the darkness of the tar paper and the grimness of the barbed wire to dresses they were wearing and ordering from Sears Roebuck catalogs, because I thought that made an interesting contrast. Likewise, there are situations set up where I depict myself in these paintings, sometimes as a 3, 4, 5-year-old, which is pretty close to the age that I was at the time. But then I also depict myself at the current age that I am, because I feel that the age that I'm at today is when I'm doing probably some of the most important works on this theme, and they're coming from the mind of a mature individual, and I don't want that to be mistaken for a depiction of myself as a memory back in 1943. I think another aspect to these paintings is the kind of foil that the barbed wire fence provides, and that you are clearly either on the outside or on the inside. And that was always important to me when I was setting up the idea for the painting, that in some instances, one person who is a Japanese American is on the inside of the barbed wire fence, but it's a Chinese American that's on the outside of the barbed wire fence. And there's a painting in that far corner, the woman in the red dress, that illustrates that. I also did a series of paintings of my grandmother, who kept a diary all through the camp experience, and myself. And because there was such a history between my grandmother and myself, not only back then, but certainly now, even though she's passed on, we shared that camp experience. And it was because of that experience, I think, that a lot of things, productive things, have happened since then. So I did a painting of she and myself at pretty much the age that we were both at that time, behind the barbed wire fence. I think what is important to take away from the show is to keep going back to what the show is about and what prompted it. And my interest was renewed after the events of September 11th, particularly when I heard all of the comments and comparisons between the attack on the World Trade Center with the bombing of Pearl Harbor during World War II. And a lot of the same rhetoric was coming over the radio and television and so on about who was going to be responsible for this. And a lot of talk was coming up about possibly incarcerating all of the Arab Americans and Arab people, anyone that looked suspicious. And then until they proved themselves innocent, they would be held behind barbed wire and gradually set free. This is exactly the mistake that was made during World War II. And I hope that this show will be a reminder of that and will encourage conversation and discussion about that comparison of 9/11 and the internment camps of World War II.